Good evening. Tonight, let the quiet guide you. Let your breath soften, your thoughts slow. And your heart open to something a little magical. This is the story of the bookshop that only opens at night. There is a street in the old part of the city that most people forget. It winds behind the main roads, past the sleeping flower stalls and the shuttered cafes, through a place where even the streetlights grow quiet. And at the far end of that street, beneath a crooked old clock that has long since stopped ticking, there's a narrow doorway with no name. It only appears after midnight. Only when the world is still. Only when you're meant to find it. Clara didn't remember how she got there. She had wandered the city for hours, trying to walk off a restlessness that wouldn't leave her alone. There were too many thoughts in her head lately. Too many questions. Too many regrets. She'd just turned 40, and though her life looked fine from the outside, a decent job, a tidy apartment, polite friendships, something inside her felt out of place. Like she'd missed a train she never knew she was supposed to catch. That night, unable to sleep, she found herself turning a corner she didn't recognize, following a faint golden glow that seemed to flicker just out of reach. And that's when she saw it. A bookshop. Tiny. Dusty. Glowing from within like a memory. Inside, the shop smelled of rain and old paper. Candles floated in the air, flickering gently as if welcoming her in. Books lined every wall, every shelf, every surface, books that looked like they hadn't been touched in years, and yet pulsed with quiet life. Behind the counter sat a tall woman with silver hair, eyes like warm ink, and a voice that felt like velvet. "Welcome," she said. "You're just on time." Clara blinked. "For what?" The woman smiled. "To find what you forgot you were looking for." Clara wandered between the shelves. The books had no titles on the spines, only dates and initials, some very old, others oddly familiar. She pulled one out at random. As soon as she opened it, words spilled out in a whisper, not printed words, but a voice. A soft voice that told her the story inside the book. This one was about a girl who used to climb rooftops to watch the stars, who believed she could talk to the moon. Clara's breath caught. She had done that. She'd been that girl. But she hadn't thought of her in years. She opened another book. This one told of a trip she almost took, of a letter she never sent, a love she almost chased. Another book held the story of the day she gave up painting, and the quiet grief that came after. Book by book, shelf by shelf, the shop showed her all the forgotten versions of herself. The dreams she let go of. The joy she misplaced. The courage she once carried like a flame. When she finally returned to the counter, tears shimmered in her eyes, but not out of sorrow. They were the kind of tears you cry when you remember something precious, and feel it return. The woman behind the counter offered her a single book. This one had no initials. No date. Just Clara's name. Inside, the pages were blank. "What is this?" Clara asked. The woman smiled gently. "The next chapter. Still unwritten. But tonight, you remembered the author." Clara looked at the book. Then she looked at her hands. And for the first time in years, she felt ready. Outside, the city was still asleep. The night was quiet, but something inside her wasn't quiet anymore. It was humming softly, like the echo of a story beginning again. She turned back to look at the shop. But where it had been was only a blank wall. As if it had never existed at all. Except in her hand was the book. The one with her name. And it was very, very real. Thank you for listening to tonight's story. May it remind you that not all doors are visible by day. Some only open when the world is quiet enough for you to hear your own heart turning the page. Good night.